Hello and welcome everyone to a very exciting webinar. Thank you for joining us today. This is My Life as a Virtual Assistant. We're going to be speaking to some of our ALX community members, speaking about their careers, their journey they've gone on, any lessons they've learned. And I want to just start off with a question to everyone in the chat. And my question is this, right? As a virtual assistant, you can work from virtually anywhere in the world. So I want you to drop in the chat, where is one place in the world you would love to work from? If you could work from anywhere in the world, where is that one place you would want to work from? Now, let's move on to the introductions of our ALX community members. We're going to start off with Shadrach. If you could start off and just introduce yourself, tell us about who you are, your journey you've gone on, and what are you currently doing in your career?
Hi everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are catching us from. I'm Shadrach Mama, catching live from Nairobi, Kenya. It's exactly 3 minutes past 2 here in Nairobi. As I told you, I'm Shadrach and I'm a virtual assistant by training. I am currently working with Sun Technology as a community fellow for Nairobi. I've been trained as a virtual assistant in 2022. I am also a content writer and a partner at a startup that I'm starting from the ground that is known as Divine Concept Solutions, where we provide marketing and leadership training and mentorship to corporates.
Awesome. Legend. Thanks, Shadrach. I appreciate it. Let's move on to our next community member to introduce himself. Grant, can you do the same? Can you just introduce yourself, tell us about yourself and the career you're currently in?
Yes, my name is Grant Tombongi. I come from Kenya. Unlike Shadrach from Nairobi, I am currently in Machakos. It's about 2 hours from Nairobi. I just actually completed my virtual assistant. I did get my certificate. We will be having our Tambali ceremony tomorrow, that's Friday. Yes, I am new to the field in terms of the learning and the graduation and the certificate, but I have been practicing a lot of virtual. So currently in my career, one of the greatest milestones that I have made is working for ALX as a volunteer. I work as a community champion for the ACE program. Yeah, other than that, I do information technology consulting. Yeah, that's basically it.
Awesome. That's amazing. It's amazing to hear all the different things that you're up to. Let's move on to Mauro. Can you tell us about you? Can you introduce yourself, please?
My name is Malokle. I am from Ghana, and I currently just finished my virtual assistance program. And yes, I've gotten my certificate, and I will also be having our graduation ceremony soon, just like Grant mentioned. And I'm currently an executive assistant, and I work virtually. And yeah, so basically that's who I am and what I do.
Amazing, amazing. And let's move on to Vivian. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, everyone. My name is Vivian Hebinia Jerke, and I'm a health service administrator by profession. I'm also from Ghana. My sister is Maulo in so many ways. So I'm also a certified software engineer, also from ALX, and I work as a project manager in my company, and it's a tech, we build tech solutions. So basically, that's why I am, but I also work as an executive assistant in the virtual world, yeah.
Awesome, amazing, amazing. And then let's move on to Kenitra. Can you introduce yourself, please? Konnichiwa, are you there? Can you konnichiwa, are you able to, can you unmute? Oh, wait, let me do this. There you go.
Okay, you mean Kenechukwu? Okay. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, Kenechukwu, from Anambra State, Nigeria. I'm actually a civil servant who just transited to a virtual work, remote work. So kudos to ALX. I'm currently the virtual assistant to Dexatech Limited, which is a client I met on LinkedIn with respect to this VA program, which I'm still going to talk about in the course of the program. So currently, I'm a virtual assistant with the Dexa Tech Limited, from Nigeria. That's me.
Awesome. Awesome. And then yeah, we've got another one of our community members, Edwin. Edwin, are you able to introduce yourself for us, please? Sorry. My apologies, not here. All right, so we're going to dive into a couple of questions now, and I think the first one, and I just want to let everyone know, if you have any questions for our community members, please drop them in the chat to get those questions asked. I'm going to move to Grant to answer this first question that we have, and the question I have is, why did you apply for the VA program in the first place? Like, what were your initial expectations in doing the virtual assistant program with ALX?
Actually, I did apply for the virtual assistant program after I completed the ACE program from the ALX. So my perspective was I really wanted to gain the skills and the ability to work in a remote setting, which I believe is whereby the contemporary workforce is moving to. So I saw the virtual assistant as an opportunity for me to gain insights, to gain the skills, to gain the abilities, which will equip me and also to make me to be quite a validated remote worker. When applying also for jobs, that's one of the things that led me. I realized that I had no experience in remote working, nor even a certification. So I really wanted to get some validation for me as a valid remote worker who is able to work remotely. Yeah, that's why I did apply for the virtual assistant program.
Awesome. Awesome. And sort of speaking on that, Grant, like what skills did you gain? What skills did you feel you got from the program? And what are those skills that you managed to apply in your career at the moment?
Yes. So one of the best skills that I have learned is being able to collaborate on remote platforms. The Google Workspace especially provides me with a very big and versatile. Actually, never knew how much Google Workspace, how really important it is and its capabilities. So currently, I work as a ALX ACE community champion, and in that space, I really got how to apply my virtual assistant skills, whereby I could collect some of the issues some of the learners are facing, push them onto my community ambassador and moderator. Yeah, being able also to handle multiple platforms. I work as a personalized WhatsApp support, so I do check some of the issues, go to the portal, yeah, put them onto the moderator. Yeah, so working in such a remote setting, and also one of the things I learned is taking into consideration time zones. Yeah, this is my first time working with people outside Kenya, so I had to schedule some of the time, knew my learners' time, got actually to adjust my time to their time. Yeah, so those were some of the skills that I have learned and applied in my current role.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm going to throw that same sort of question to you, Vivian. Can you tell us as well, what made you want to look into virtual assistants, and what skills did you manage to pick up along the way?
I think for someone, I don't know, this sounds weird whenever I say it, but the level of air conditioning in my office as a then in the regional hospital I used to be was so unbearable. I think that was one of the things that demotivated me from being in the office space. But I'm somebody who likes growing up as an introvert. I loved my space very much. So I was so drawn to the virtual assistant kind of career when I heard about it. So that was what motivated me. Okay, I could be in my bed because I could be in my bed and still, you may think you are sleeping, but I'm working. So I think that was what propelled me to apply for the program, and seeing the kind of community I joined also helped me a lot. And yeah, so for me that was it. And some of the skills that I learned happened to be, you see, we all started with Microsoft Word, Excel, and all that. And I never liked Excel till now. I never liked it. So getting introduced to Google Workspace was just a lifesaver for me. So I don't joke with my Google Workspace, and some of the things that we learned, being confidential as a professional, keeping secrets, being able to meet deadlines, being able to perform your tasks accurately. You know, one thing about being a virtual assistant is how you're able to manage your life and the life of your clients together simultaneously, because you can't just live your life anyhow. And to me, that is a skill on its own. To be able to manage your life and manage another person's life is a skill on its own that a lot of people don't know that is a skill. Aside the Google Workspace and all other things we learned, I think that is one of the things that I took away and is helping my life a lot. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's amazing. That's great. And what was like a highlight for you then during the program? Any public highlights that you came across that really stood out to you during your time at ALX?
Okay, I think one of the memorable highlights would be when I was a best performer, and one of the gifts they wanted to give to me the best performers was for us to meet Fred Swanika in a Zoom meeting, and it never happens like having Fred Swanika meet you in a Zoom meeting just because we are performing high in the VA program was something that, so getting to have that Zoom meeting with Fred Swanika and the things he told us and the way he was encouraging, I think that was one of the best moments. And further on, a few of us, we are less than 10, were selected in a special group, and some of the staff were really looking up to us to do better. Like they were trying to develop us more than even what they were teaching us. So they took a special interest in us, like how we were performing very high and what we were doing, the way we were just submitting our milestones earlier, we were taking the courses serious. I think those times and the special love and care they showed us really made my time in the VA program very memorable for me. Yeah. So those were some of the highlights. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Awesome. So let's throw the same question then. Let's throw this one to Kenichiku. Could you explain the same thing? Why virtual assistant? What skills did you pick up on that you're currently using?
Okay, for me, I actually waited for this program for like 2 years, to be candid, because the first time I got to know about the program, my younger sister actually took the course, and then she told me one of amazing things about the program, and I actually looked forward for it. To burst your bubble, I had to register for AI Essential just to make sure that I keep track. I got my eyes on ALX, looking out for this program. So for me, it's like a dream come true. Having been an on-site administrator for the past 5 years of my life, it's something I've looked up to that's going to help me to transition to working virtually. So for me, it's like a dream come true, and it has been top notch. Then talking about that if you only want to make it in this space, then manage your time. Because one thing about able to manage your time, you find out that you can actually be productive, not just being busy. So that has been a good take home for me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's really good to hear. Cool. Let's throw the same question as well. Shadrach, could you explain to us as well, why did you go into virtual assistants and what skills did you pick up that you're currently using? Shadrach, you're still muted. There you go.
Sorry.
Perfect.
For me, I'll say is a concussion factors. First of all, curiosity. I'm quite curious naturally. And secondly is fulfillment. I had tried learning because I had applied for college and dropped because of time commitment and family. And I had tried several online courses here and there on digital marketing, content creation. Then one day I'm just scrolling on Facebook and I see in one of the Facebook groups that there is this course, there's ALEC, they're offering a course in virtual assistant, financial analysis and software engineering. Then I tried Googling who is a virtual assistant. So it appealed to me, and honestly, I just applied to the course because of curiosity. Another thing is that I just wanted a discipline to learn. And when I saw that it would be like a school whereby you have to submit a milestone every week, I tried learning online on my own, but I wasn't naturally a very disciplined person. I can say that. But now seeing that the virtual assistant course, I have to be pushed, to submit a milestone. I really applied for it with, enthusiastically, and I was accepted. I started the course. I'll say, I'm sorry, I'm going to repeat what Vivian said. Google Workspace. Google Workspace is everything, even up to today. Actually, that is, I can say that if you capture everything in Google Workspace, like that is Google Doc, a slide, Google Sheets, everything, you are good to go. You can work everywhere, you can do everything. So for me, the highlight was Google Workspace and also completing the course with honors despite being in a quite heavy work schedule. Actually, I used to learn everything on Sunday and submit milestones on Sunday. It was 20 hours a week, but I used to do that on Sunday. Maybe on the weekend, I'll just go to church, and after church, I just sit down with my laptop. I almost submitted every milestone 2 minutes to deadline. Yeah. So the highlight was the pressure for me, and I really liked it. Thank you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. And you got to be able to deal with pressure as it comes and, do hard things. So yeah, let's move the same question. Let's go into Mala. I'd like to know from you, why virtual assistant? Why did you choose to do the program, and what skills did you pick up on?
Okay, so for me, I have been working as an executive assistant for a while virtually. And everything I know that I was doing or practicing in my work was what I learned from binge watching YouTube, and also some of the things I just wing it along the line as I go. So when I came across the VA program, I knew that this was a great opportunity for me to learn exactly what I'm supposed to do as a virtual executive assistant. And this was to give me more context and more understanding of my role as well. So I just jumped upon the opportunity and took advantage of it. And when it comes to the skills gain, yes, I'm also going to repeat it. It's Google Workspace for me. So it's not like I didn't have an idea of how Google Workspace works. Of course, we all use it and we have a fair idea about how it works. But the program gave us an in-depth knowledge of everything. It went into the details, things that you didn't even know that Google Sheets could do. Those were the things that were brought to light. So I think it was very, very good for me. And another thing was managing up. You hear a lot of people tell you that be proactive and all that, but you hardly hear people tell you that you need to learn how to manage up. And I think for me, that was like one of the great skills I picked up during the program, managing up for me. And for the highlights, I would say is the community support. The community was there every step of the way. You have people a pool of people to talk to ask questions from, to get feedback and all that. So yeah, basically that's been it for me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm going to ask the question then to you as well is, the program obviously has an emphasis on learning by doing. So can you share any specific project or task that you did that you maybe found particularly challenging or rewarding that maybe stood out to you?
Okay, so I would say it's creating travel itineraries that I would say was very rewarding to me. So when we're taking that aspect of the program, there was a question about whether you prefer using like Tripit or whether you prefer using PowerPoint. And I went in for PowerPoint because that was it for me. It gives you the opportunity to customize your trip itinerary and all that. And besides that, I got to apply this a few weeks later after creating the travel itinerary during the milestone that we were supposed to do. I got to apply it in my work, and then again, proactiveness came in where I had to be proactive, create the itinerary for my executive, and yeah, so basically that's it.
That's amazing. That's awesome. I'm going to ask them that same question. Vivian, was there any project for you as well that you maybe particularly found challenging or rewarding that's maybe stood out to you?
Well, I think the challenging one will be the internet research, where you have to look for the numbers and do VLOOKUP and all that was challenging. But like Maulo said, the travel pack tax was really, I took it as a personal tax because I placed myself in the shoes of the clients I'll be working for, and I try to work for myself if I'm supposed to travel. So that became so exciting for me, like, oh, okay, let me pretend I'm traveling or my client is traveling, I'm going here. So it gave me the opportunity to do a lot of research for myself. So if in case I'm traveling, what do I do? So I think the travel pack thing was really a great task for whoever really had interest in traveling someday or taking that as a niche. It was a very in-depth one. We're introduced to booking.com. That was how I even first heard about booking.com, TripAdvisor, and all those platforms. So for me, that one was very exciting for me because I get to plan my own trip, even though I'm not going anywhere. So I think that was more exciting for me as a person. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I'm going to actually then, while you're speaking about even the program in that way, I'm going to sort of even go into sort of maybe a project that you've worked on currently. Is there a project that you've worked on currently in your journey in your career currently that maybe has also you found challenging or rewarding that stood out? Like any sort of particular task that sort of relates to, the what you're currently doing?
Yeah, for me, I think right after the virtual assistant, I was put on an internship as a project manager. And what I learned from the internet research side helped me to work with two other data scientists. So that knowledge I learned was able to draw me to be able to work with these people because I was able to understand the aspect. Because sometimes as a project manager, you call your data scientists and analysts and they're like, we are working on the data, we are doing this, we are doing that. So it gave me the opportunity to be able to contribute to whatever they are doing. And aside that, currently as a project manager and a virtual assistant, I'm able to reapply some of I think most of the skills that I learned as a virtual assistant within, because I work with a team around the world, around Africa. And for me, it's like working as a virtual assistant again, because I'm working with them, and so let's say they're also working as virtual assistants because we are all working virtually and we get to collaborate on certain tasks. So I think the virtual assistance program goes beyond that. For me, it's like just transitioning from your skill sets into the virtual world. You have a skill. So how do you work aside the office? It's just to work virtually. So for me, it's helped me more than being a challenge, because I don't see any task I'm not able to tackle without looking at what I learned in the virtual world. So if I've learned virtual assistant, I'll be able to tackle any task. If somebody should call me from anywhere in the world and say, okay, I want us to work on this and that, I know the platform to go to. Okay, let's meet on Zoom, let's meet on Loom. Let me record this with Loom and send it to you. Let's collaborate here, let's do this. I'm able to collaborate with people around the world, knowing well that, okay, I learned this as a virtual assistant. So for me, the virtual assistant program is application to the entire life as a career person. You get to work anywhere. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, that's amazing. That's amazing. It's really interesting to see how those projects then apply going forward. I'm going to sort of ask the same, Shadrach, to you, especially, you mentioned Google Workspace. Can you maybe speak a little bit as well about, maybe a project that stood out to you, but even looking at, any specific projects you're doing currently that have stood out, that's maybe you found challenging or was a highlight for you. Maybe you can speak a little bit on that as well. Shadrach, if you can give us a little bit of insight on that.
Okay, fortunately, or I say that the project that gave me a challenge was internet research, collecting data. I don't know it was from which town, I can't remember, but really that was quite hectic, and also travel and itinerary booking. And just as Vivian said, that is the first time I really got to know about booking.com. And that really inspired even an idea in me of starting an events management and travel company. As I mentioned, what I'll be doing in Defined Concepts, events management is one of the things that I intend to do. And the inspiration for me, that kind of a company really came from the virtual assistant calls as I was handling that, because it really gave me a lot of trouble, like even preparing the slide. I have never done any presentation before. Was my work where I was working really involved like keying data manually. There is a system, and mostly you are just writing down things. But now this is now like I am literally working with the softwares, like that is the Google Slide and also Excel. So really that was my biggest challenge and also my biggest blessing, because that is where I got the inspiration for doing some of the things that I'm doing. Because currently I also in the event planning team for Nairobi Fellowship. I've planned quite a couple of events. I've also been able to use some of the skills that I learned from then in what I'm doing currently. Yeah, thank you.
Nice. That's amazing. That's awesome. Let's ask the same question, Grant. Maybe you can also do the same. In the program, even specifically, what project maybe stood out to you? And maybe you can let us know even maybe how that sort of translated into a project that you've done recently in your career. Yeah, I'd love to hear from you, Grant.
For me, one of the projects which I really got to see what virtual assistant is about is in the week which we were supposed to offer our services. Yeah, I got to practice what I think, it's what Marlo said, yeah? What's the context of a virtual assistant? Yeah. So, and also I had someone mentioning managing app. I got actually to try to create an itinerary or a planning for someone as a project. Yeah, and I got actually to engage with especially the Google Calendar. Yeah, and I really got to practice about the Google Calendar, put in the details, put in the time in a way that even now the client will actually be able to follow through. So that one really gave me a perspective on what actually planning is, because I actually do plan to be an administrative virtual assistant. yeah, like I've heard we have executive virtual assistants. Actually, I'm really learning a lot also. Yeah.
Nice. That's amazing. That's amazing. And there's obviously this constant need for learning and upscaling, and yeah, I sort of want to while I've got you, Grant, even sort of asking on the kinds of tools that you're using, especially as you speak about needing to learn and such. Are there any like specific tools that you maybe got from the VA program that was valuable? Any new tools that you're looking out for that you're using that are new? Yeah, I kind of just want to dive into this idea of like what are those tools that you're using that you find very useful? We mentioned booking.com and how great that's been, but I'd love to hear from you as well. What are some of those tools that you found valuable that maybe you learned even during the program that you're using today? Yeah.
Yeah, for the tools, I'll just go along with what I'm hearing everybody saying it, the Google Workspace tools. Yeah, actually, I only got to engage and learn about the Google Workspace tools during the program, and I got to see how wide it is. I got to see how fundamental actually it is in any virtual remote working setup. Yeah, the Google Calendar, the Google Sheets, the Google Docs, being able to actually work on a single document, in a collaborative manner. Yeah, actually, and also like currently as a community champion, I have a list in which uh, when I make a change, yeah, it is visible. It is visible to my moderator. That also gave me a context actually of what now virtual assistant is working, yeah, and preparing me now for future opportunities. Yeah, so also the Google Workspace tools, yeah, I see them as fundamental but very, very essential and important. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And yeah, and I mean, you've obviously now touched on this aspect of community, and I think that's obviously very important. It's something that we're very strong about here at ALX is building this idea of a community, right? I want to then sort of ask, Marla, I'm gonna ask you this. Like, what opportunities would you say maybe opened up for you through the community that you maybe built here at ALX? Yeah, I'd love to just kind of know like your experience with the community.
Okay, so with the community, I noticed that week after week, each time you have a challenge, each time you have an assignment, and then you're not able to figure things out on your own, we were always able to reach out to each other. So in our cohorts, we made it a point that everyone was going to move with us and no one was going to be left behind. So anytime there was a challenge with someone's assignment, anytime someone had a challenge with their milestone whatsoever, we always called on each other. You could actually reach out to people personally on their WhatsApp numbers and just contact them. People who have already shared that they have completed their milestone, you can contact them. How did you do this? How did you do that? Can you help me with this? And then they were always willing to help us. And another thing I've noticed is that now I have access to a pool of people who are within the same space that I am. And this is a great thing for me because I know that from here on, if I ever need someone who is a virtual graphic designer, different skills when it comes to virtual assistants, I can always call on anyone within the community to help out. You're muted.
I'm muted.
Of course, here I am. I need to learn the tools of tech. Right. I'm gonna ask the same question to you, Vivian, about community. So this is why community is so important. The community tells you when you're muted on Zoom, so that you know to unmute. So Vivian, I'm gonna ask the same question to you. Can you tell us a bit about your experience with the community? Any opportunities that maybe opened up? Anything that you found helpful by being a part of the community?
Well, for me, anyone who knows me in ALS Ghana knows that community means a lot to me. And I think the community aspect of ALS drives me to, quote unquote, draw more souls to the program than any other thing. For myself, the people that I met in the program till today, we are as close as we were when we're in the program. And the support that I get from these people, whenever I want to speak about it, I get a bit emotional, like right now my voice is about to change. It's so refreshing and thrilling to know that, okay, there is a community of people or a bunch of people you know from nowhere, but all of a sudden you are stuck together and 2 years and counting. So in the program, during the program, after the program, community has been one of the best support system for me. Even outside my career, community has always been there for me. People outside Ghana, people within Ghana, people within the same space, outside my space has been so helpful. Anything I am doing, you find these same community people cheering me on. They push me. I remember when I started my ALX software engineering program, it is this same community that pushed me on. People were in my DM saying, I am rooting for you. You can do it. Because we were together when we were doing the virtual assistance program. So when I transitioned into tech fully, these were the same community people who were behind me saying that I am rooting for you. Go, you can do it. And if not for them, I believe I would have dropped out from the software engineering program, because it got to a point I was trying to serve the community and also fulfill my tech ambition. But these people were there. They were like, yes, girl, you can do it. So for me, for anyone who is an alumni of ALX should fix themselves properly into the community, because that is where the real deal is. You've done the program, you are done. Like Maulo said, anytime there is an opportunity and I cannot do it, I know somebody I will call to refer the opportunity to, because we have that connection. And whenever there's an opportunity and they know that Vivian is the one capable of doing it, they call on me to do it. So for me, community is everything, and I'm so dedicated to my community members, whichever country they are. I am very dedicated to them because they've been there for me several times, and it is just an honor to also be there for them. So whoever will hear this today, get more involved in the community. We are all coming from various career backgrounds, but the community is where you are going to get people to push you to be the better version of yourself. Yeah.
Awesome. Amazing. And Vivian, while speaking, we've actually got a question from Martin. I see there's a couple other questions we're going to get to now. But I see this question from Martin, and he says, other than Google Workspace tools, have project management tools like ClickUp been helpful in your role? And if so, how?
Please, the question again.
Yeah. So he says, other than Google Workspace tools, have project management tools like ClickUp been helpful in your role? And if so, how?
Wow. This is one question that when I answer, people still ask how. The only tool, like if I should count 10 tools, I'll count it 9 times, is my alarm system. The common alarm on my phone is my project management tool. How? Because I arrange my time so judiciously in a way that after this webinar, I know what comes next, and it gives me the reminder. It helps me to be able to organize myself properly. Truthfully, I do not use ClickUp or is it ClickUp or whatever the person mentioned. I do not use it. And the farthest I have gone is to use Notion, which was a company-based use, because I was working for a company as a project manager and I needed to use Notion. So, and Asana. So every project management tool I've used is because of the company. But as a person, my only project management tool is one of my diaries and my alarm system, because if I'm able to write whatever I'm doing down, and like I said, I'm able to use my sticky notes. So these are the petty things that people do not really see their benefits. They're like, okay, I need to get a sophisticated tech. The fact that technology is available doesn't mean you should use it. It's there, but use what is relevant to you. What party A is using doesn't necessarily mean that party B should use the same thing. Use what works for you. So for me, what works for me is my alarm and what the company wants me to use. When I'm done with the company, I'm done with the tool, because it may not be that relevant to me. But if you feel it is relevant to you in your role, use it. But for me, what works best for me is my alarm system and my sticky notes and my notepad. These work for me a lot. So you see me always typing. You may think I am chatting or something, but I am working. And it is my notebook. So for me, that's what I would say personally. My alarm system is my best go-to. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's amazing. I'm gonna ask Kenichiku because I'm gonna ask you a little bit on this as well, a little bit on the tools. And maybe it speaks a little bit to that as well. What sort of tools are you using sort of frequently? I mean, we've even got a question sort of asking, this difference between like sort of the Google workspaces and like the normal versions, whereas like the PowerPoints and so on. But I suppose this goes into this question of, like what tools are you using and what tools do you find valuable as well in your day to day?
Okay, first of all, I want to apologize. My network has been somehow cracky, but I think I'm a bit stable. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you so much for giving me that time question. Okay, for me, just like Justin have said, but Google Workspace has been awesome. I've learned a whole lot about Google Workspace, but at the moment, since a majority have talked about Google Workspace, so let's dive into some other tools that have been so awesome in this journey. For me, it's a Notion. And at the moment, I am volunteering with Code Connected Development. It's a non-governmental organization that are into trying to bridge the gap between government and the citizens. So for the trust, we have a program that is currently ongoing, the Open Pali program. So Notion have actually helped me to be able to, and I'm one of the organizers of the program. So Notion have very helped me to be able to plan the program in a way that I could incorporate all the volunteers, all the organizers, and it's been awesome working together with Notion. Likewise, Slack has been awesome, and Loom. I love Loom so much. I got to know more about Loom on this training, and it's so handy that I can use it to do a whole lot of things. Even in my squad, at times when we have issues that they need to learn something, maybe there's something if someone is not getting, it's always easier for me to just dash into Loom and quickly do a video and share with the learner that's having issue with it. So this tool has been awesome in this journey.
That's awesome. That's amazing. And then I want to also then kind of ask you even this question on the community. Like, how did you find the community helping you on the journey that you're on? I wonder if you could maybe speak a little bit on that side.
Yeah, the community has been awesome. As in, I can go on and on when it comes to community because first of all, I'm currently a community champion. And because I did AI essentials, so we are actually helping the we are actually helping the cohort 6, and I have a personalized WhatsApp group. I will have 103 learners assigned to me. So we are doing awesome. That aside, now coming to community. One thing I love ALS about that community. ALS is like you're meant to learn at your pace, but there is this invisible spirit. As in, I don't know how to put it. That you, you can't even if you're sleeping and you've not submitted your milestone. Oh, sorry, that sleep cannot enter, as you can't enjoy it because there's this spirit that will be haunting you like mad. You just have to get up from that bed and go and do the needful. And then another aspect of the community I love so much is the oneness, the unity, the love. It's just like home away from home. I don't know how ALS have managed to do that. You bring different people from different places together, and they now come together. All of a sudden, they form one strong bond. Now, two examples I'm going to explain to us here. There's the content I shared on my LinkedIn post, and that is when we are talked about pitching. So one of the learners actually did something creative. He used he pitched. No, so he just did a content for a client and shared it. So I tried to be creative about it. So I did my pitch. He used this text to voice. He transcribed a prompt to voice. So what I did, I was okay. Now I've done my pitch. How am I going to present this? So I now asked him, how did he do that? So he told me how he was able to move the prompt to voice. So all through the night, I just had to do that, and then I moved my prompt to a voice and then added it to my portfolio and shared it on LinkedIn. As I'm talking to you now, that content is the highest, as in the impression I've got so far, 34,000 something on my LinkedIn post. So if you find out that because of community, at least he shared a knowledge he had. And at the moment, he just created a WhatsApp group for those that are interested to still learn more.
Looks like the network is dropped.
We lost it.
Yeah,
Can you hear me? Okay, so I'm sorry
there you go.
about that.
No
So
worries.
he just created a WhatsApp group now for us to continue learning. Mr. Wisdom Solomon, if you're on this call, I appreciate you. Kudos to you. I've learned a lot from you, and I'm looking forward to those lessons we're going to learn. That is on one side. I slept around 12 a.m. this morning. What was I doing? One of the learners as well created a WhatsApp group again to teach us more on project management tools. Trollo, we did that almost all through the night. She took her time to, as in, digest it for us. I call her the the top-rated automated queen. She's good when it comes to automation. Baby, if you're on this call, I appreciate you. So you find out that community is awesome. This is just 2 examples I can cite for now. There's a whole lot that we are doing together. As we've already made up our mind that, let me even say this, and see, in this VA program, Nigerian squad 5, we are the best. You can take that to the bank. We are the best. I'm not bragging, but guys, you need to see my squad.
It's a lie. It's a lie.
Hot 5. We are called the hot 5 as a Nigeria sport 5. No try also. So you find out that community. I don't know how ALS managed to come up with that, but community, it's awesome. I give it to ALS. Keep up the good work.
Awesome. That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, you heard it. Keep up the good work. Everyone's got to work hard, and we've got to, as we say once again, do hard things, and that saying never wears itself down. I'm going to ask this to Shadrach. There's actually a question here that we've got, which is, how do I secure jobs after successfully completing the ALX Virtual Assistant program? And there's even a question even on this, how can one pick a particular niche to venture into in VA? So I'm going to ask you, Shadrach, what did your journey look like after the program? Finding the job, like how did you find that? How did you find that entire process getting into the role that you're in at the moment?
Okay, for me, I'll say that I'm a generalist. I did not pick a niche. Immediately after getting my certificate, I started applying the skills. Actually, I started by looking for friends and trying to help them, like organize a resume. And that time, I also started paying keen attention to my LinkedIn. I also did that for a couple of friends. I wasn't actually actively looking for work, but I was trying to like practice what I learned. It wasn't until last year, September, when I saw a role, actually a friend, and that now is to reiterate the importance of community. A job was shared in one of our WhatsApp communities for a business development fellow and a data mapper, and I applied. Courtesy of me being a fellow, I applied that job, and it happened while I was in the midst of career transition. I had worked in manufacturing industry for quite some time. I didn't like what I was doing, and I was in the verge of looking for a job. So I saw that role, and I remember someone asked me, "Are you going to risk your contract because of a 3-4 months contract?" And I told them, yes, I believe in this company. I believe in ALX. I've been doing volunteership for them, and one day I believe I'll be working for this company. So I took the chance. I applied for the business development role, which we did from September to December. Fortunately, I was among the best data mappers, and they extended only branch for me to apply for another role. they sent an exclusive email for me that you are among the best data mappers and there is another role that you can apply. And I applied and I was picked as a talent data collector for SAMT, which I did up to May this year. From that, I also applied for another role that is what I'm doing currently, working with the city community team here in Nairobi. So I can say basically, if it was not for the vehicles, I wouldn't be working with SAMT. And that's also fueled my curiosity for online learning and continuous learning, because after that, I applied for Salesforce, that is last year. I did Salesforce. After Salesforce, I also did ACE, and currently I'm taking data analytics. And I find easy for me because of the VA. Even when I was doing the ACE program, while people were complaining, this ACE, this course is quite hectic, it's hard. For me, it was just like a walkover, because most of the skills I had learned them prior while doing the VA course. So for me, I did not pick a certain career because I have said that I'm a generalist. And for me, the VA course actually, I can compare it to a mini MBA. You learn a lot of skills. So what I am doing, what I'm planning to do in my freelance is courtesy of what I learned in the VA course and also other courses that I have done with edX. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So it's almost like as many skills as you can get, basically, are very useful, no matter what. I'm gonna ask the question to you, Malo. What does your journey look like? How did you find that job? How did you find that niche? What did that look like for you?
Yeah, so for me, for a very long time before I decided to become a virtual executive assistant, I was provided services for family and friends, so people within my network. I was always the one who was going to proofread the material for you. I'm the one who's going to help you edit the material. I was the go-to person in my network when people needed help when it came to basic administrative tasks. So one day when I decided to do this full time, I sat down and mapped out my skills. So I sat down and I decided, okay, so what am I good at? What can I do best? Is this something I'm capable of? Will I be able to learn? And that's how it all started for me. So I mapped out my skills and decided that, okay, this is something I can actually do professionally, something I can do as a career. And that's how I transitioned from someone who was basically just helping people for nothing into making it a career. And one thing I also say about that is it was a very good avenue for me, working for free as it was, volunteering within my network, because I noticed that at the end of the day, when I transitioned professionally, I had references. I already had references right from day one when I started doing my work. So in as much as you may not get a job now, you do have people within your network that need your skills. So map out your skills. What are you good at? Yours may not necessarily be within the administrative space. You could be a graphic designer. You could be a project manager like Vivian. And all you need to do is to map out your skills. I believe that that's the first step. The first step, identify what you are good at, then offer to people within your network. And another place I took my services to was LinkedIn. I started talking about what I do, what I can do, and I offered that to the people on my community on LinkedIn. And that was how other people were drawn to me and were interested in what I was doing. And I did actually get clients on LinkedIn as well.
Awesome. That's amazing. That's amazing. I want to ask the same to you, Grant, and maybe also just speaking a little bit as well on that journey, and maybe even touching even on this question of are there other skills to look out for that could assist in the sort of like VA space? So yeah, maybe if you can sort of explain around that, your journey and sort of any other skills that you found that have been useful.
The virtual assistant, one of the skills that I found to be useful is actually being able to write a message whereby you can, in there, like they said, you're communicating for impact. Yeah, so one of the skills that I learned is being able to communicate an idea, push forward an idea, whereby you want to communicate and put something forth and maybe, or even maybe convince somebody of something, maybe an idea or a project or maybe an addition that they could put to the project, or maybe a twist. Yeah, so maybe the communication. Yeah.
Awesome. Amazing. Amazing. And can you explain a little bit as well, like your journey after the program? What did that look like? Like how did you handle it? Any sort of like lessons or advice you could give someone after completing something like the virtual assistant program? What advice would you give them, based on what your journey looked like getting to where you are now?
Currently, I have very limited experience in my professional career. But during in the learning program, we had this niche where we were learning about the niches which a virtual assistant could explore to. Maybe it could be a project manager, as mentioned. Maybe it could be actually an administrative virtual assistant. But personally, for me, I don't think I've explored enough to be specific actually on what niche to explore. So personal for me, and also the advice which I will give to others is to give yourself time, explore the possible niches which you could explore, the possible fields, because I don't think you will ever be able to know what you're good at unless you actually give it a shot, unless you try it. Yeah.
Awesome. That's amazing. I wanna ask the same question to you, Kenichiko. What advice do you have after going through, like, what advice would you give to someone based on your journey? Any lessons that you've learned that others could take from? You are muted.
Oh,
My apologies.
No worries.
Okay. The first thing I would say to everyone out there is have an open mind, as in don't believe you can't do it. At first, when I heard about tech, about AI essentials, I told you guys that I waited for 3 years for this program. So when I came across AI essentials, I was like, these tech people. No, this ideology that once ever you hear about tech, it has to do with stuff like the Vivian's like. So whenever you hear about tech, that's the angle it goes. So when I heard about AI essentials, I was like, these people. Well, but because I got a focus on, I have something in mind as driving me. I said, okay, let me just use the AI essentials for pastime while I wait for the VA program. So what am I not trying to say? Have an open mind, because on getting to the AI essentials, I found out that it wasn't just about tech. There was a whole lot. Even this Google Workplace we're talking about now is also inculcated there as an understanding yourself, your leadership strengths, collaborating with others, repamping your social media page. There's a whole lot. One thing about ALS is that it didn't just make you just say it wasn't just tech. Bring in inculcate a whole lot of things. Understand the fact that dealing with youth, the young mind, the Gen Z, that want to explore a whole lot of things. So the inculcate thing is going to make you as in feel the vibe to carry on with the program, even when you feel like you're not getting it. Okay, because there'll be something. Okay, if I'm not getting A, I'm getting B. So first of all, have an open mind towards it. You can do it. Don't just bottle up your mind that no, it's not a go for me. And now coming to the VA program, it's still about open mind, because there are some things I felt you can't do, but by the time you dive into it with an open mind, you'll be amazed to what you can achieve. Just like one of the challenges I had was the travel pack. It was a little bit issue for me, but I just told myself, if other persons in my community can do it, I can do it. So first thing is to have an open mind, believe you can do it. And then there's a story I want to share to encourage anybody out there that might be going through challenges or something, because it actually helped me to get to where I am today. So in the sense that wherever situation you find yourself, it can either make you or mar you. So what best for you is to find out what isn't there that's gonna make something positive out of. If you're able to find out that, it's really gonna help you. Now, just a quick one. I'm not gonna take much of our time, but just to encourage someone out there, and also to make a point. just like I said, I should be a civil servant, okay? But then for some reasons, something happened, and I've been working for like let's say 4 years now, and we've not been paid. So imagine having been employed for 4 years without pay. So it got me thinking, how long am I going to stay put here? It's high time I find a way out. Okay, so that was when I started looking for how to work virtually, and then eventually I get to where I am today. So explore, explore, step out of your comfort zone. Don't feel like, okay, this is what it is. And at times, since some things happen for a purpose, if for a reason now that I'll maybe just maybe just maybe they will pay me, just maybe I might not have thought of this. But that's what I'm trying to say. You might find yourself in some situation, it's for a reason. Don't just try to say God have forgotten you. God might have kept you in that position for you to rediscover something about yourself. So I'm living testimony. So that experience helped me to think outside the box, step out of my comfort zone, and it actually helped me to get to where I am today. So to you out there, don't feel like where you are, you're the lowest part of your life. No, you're in there for a purpose. Make something productive out of it. Think outside the box. You'll be amazed what you can come up with.
Awesome. Amazing. Amazing. I'm going to ask the same question as we're, starting to wrap and everything. Vivian, what advice or lessons would you give someone based on your journey that you've gone along the way? Anything that you would want to let others know about? Any encouragement you want to tell someone?
Well, I always say, so far as you have a skill, you just have to transition it to the virtual world. One thing I would say is a lot of executives, like top executives, do not know they need virtual assistants. And a lot of them also don't know about virtual assistants. It will look like because ALS is out there, people know about it. Funny enough, my first role with a top CEO in Ghana, he never knew about what a virtual assistant was. So I had to create that opportunity to become his virtual assistant for him to understand the role we play in their lives. So what I would tell those out there is that let people know what a virtual assistant is and the ease you bring to their life. Because if they don't know they need you, how would they employ you? So let them know and allow them to know that you are a virtual assistant and you can help their life. And create the opportunities for yourself. Don't wait for somebody to come and hire you to be their virtual assistant. Go to people you think you can help ease their burden. Tell them about what a VA role is. Let them understand the aspect of their life you can help them with. And let them employ you because that's an opportunity. They don't know about it. And there are lots of digital tools and platforms out there. Your duty is to master it, the relevant tools. Master it and let it help you. There's AI augmentation. A lot of tools are coming up. Every day, there are thousands of tools coming up. The ones that you think can help you better manage a lot of clients, master it and use it. Because at the end of the day, you are a virtual assistant and you're supposed to work for as many clients as you can. And my final thing I will say is that virtual assistant roles are evolving. If you have to learn another skill or another language, do it, because a time is coming where there'll be a multilingual communication. People are now looking for people, virtual assistants who can speak in their languages because they want them to be able to interact better with their clients. So I would encourage you, if you are good at learning languages, learn it. If you know tools that can help you, master it. Because at the end of the day, you need them to excel. So just go for it, transition whatever skill you have, start from somewhere, whatever you are comfortable with, start from there. Then at the end of the day, you know where your strength is, then you fix your attention there and make it a niche. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. That's amazing. That's amazing. I love hearing that. And then Shadrach, do you have any advice or lessons you'd like to give anyone also looking to follow your journey?
Okay, I would say that this is personal. I'm a bit personal with it. Whatever career you are coming from, if you can really apply to the LXBA program, as I said in the beginning, for me, this is like a mini MBA. An MBA is a course that anyone can learn. Doesn't matter whether you come from medicine, engineering, technology. Once you have your background, that is your undergraduate, you can do an MBA, especially an executive MBA, because it's about people management, it's about strategy. And for me, I believe you can really get a lot of value from 2 months course. And for that matter, it's a free course. Okay, I'm not paid to advertise LX, but I say that I'm a bit personal. So every person out there, they can really apply for this course. And it would really transform their life because they're gonna get valuable skills, and the skills that we are going to get there is not like theoretical. By the time you graduate from the course, you have got a portfolio, you have practiced, and you can apply for a job even in the first month and you're able to deliver. Unlike what we see, whereby a person goes to college for 4 years and even after 4 years, you're still green, full of a lot of literature, but you can't do anything on the workspace. So guys out there, kindly apply for the LHBA course. I've got no other advice. Yeah, thank you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And yeah, and lastly, Marlo, is there any advice or lessons that you can also give to anyone?
Yeah, so I would say have a growth mindset. Don't be fixed in your ways. Always be open to learning new things, because continuous learning is very relevant to whatever you're doing. You should be someone who is open to upscaling your skills and also leveraging on whatever resources you can get at the moment. And a good opportunity is the ALX program, which gives you the chance to go through this virtual assistance program. And at the end of the day, it would help improve upon the skills that you already have. You may think that whatever you're doing is enough, but the fact is you can never be too good or too knowledgeable at what you do. There's always information out there. There's always something new out there for you to learn. So be open to learning and have a growth mindset.
Amazing. Amazing. Yes, and I mean, this is all the time that we have. Obviously, continue to watch this, share this video. If you have any more questions, you can obviously leave them on the video. We'll do our best to answer them. And I'm sure you can find our ALX community members on their LinkedIn. You can connect with them, you can follow their journey and find out more. But thank you everyone for coming today. Our virtual assistant program, the application deadline is the 12th of September. So make sure you get in on that. You're able to follow this journey. The possibilities are endless. And yeah, the future is now. So we keep moving forward. Have a fantastic week ahead. And we'll catch you all on the other side. Thank you.